I was thinking, right? What's more important when it comes to a family, when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to a parent child relationship, or when it comes to, uh, I guess, a family unit? What's more important, right? Is a is the relationship with the parent or both parents having a relationship with the kids more important? Because families, relationships don't always work out. Divorce, separation, whatever. You know what I mean? Kids out of wedlock, whatever, right? But what's more important? And I guess that depends on what your upbringing is, or what you believe in, or wherever you at in your life, I guess. All right. So what's more important? Would you rather your child or children have a relationship with the other parent, or would you just rather somebody that just send the money and write the check? I guess it depends. I guess if you grew up in a dysfunctional environment, right? Or you didn't really have a relationship with your parents or a parent like that, then that's normal for you, right? But most of the time, in my experience and from people that I know, right, when you want to be better, if you grew up a way that's outside of the norm, you want to provide something stable and normal for your kids. I think that's how most of us think. You would like to have a two-parent household, or if you can't have a two-parent household, you would like for both parents to be fully involved in the child's life or the children's life. But you see, I guess from um, I don't know, it's just the world. They would rather let technology, TV, and money raise the kids, um, because it doesn't seem like anybody else has time for them, right? We always say how the kids are the future, and people always pretend like everything they do is for the children. But if you pay attention to what people do, it's not even about the kids. People don't think about the kids and what's beneficial to a young mind or a young body or a growing person. A child growing into an adulthood. Most kids, as they grow up, they don't understand the importance of nothing. Um, they don't have what it takes to survive in the real world. They don't have the knowledge, and if they do have the knowledge, they don't know how to apply it to anything, right? Because they're not showed nothing. Most parents are trying to recapture their youth, or whatever you want to call it that they out here doing. So they don't really have time to groom or show their kids nothing when it comes to not grooming as like what schools and TV shows do, and that corrupting kids and putting nonsense in their mind or in their subconscious. I mean, like showing your kids, like training them up to be successful or productive adults. Right? A lot of parents aren't doing that. Um, a lot of kids aren't physically fit to do much of nothing. They're not really healthy like that. Most of them don't do nothing but snack, eat fast food, and play on their phones. They don't even be outside like that. They're not social like that, right? Um, they're just all social media and snacks. uh, antisocial or socially awkward. So is it generational, or it's just what it is to be a parent in the new world or a child in the new world where you don't even see kids outside like you used to, doing anything physical, no physical activities, um, outside of getting the Twitter fingers strong. Right? So I don't know. And then when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to most parents, I guess depending on how you were raised, like I said, and your relationship with your parents, um, what do you actually want for your children? I see a lot of parents, they're more like friends with their kids. I guess that's cool, but your kids are gonna always have friends. They're gonna go through friends throughout life. But you as a parent, I believe there's a standard you're supposed to set, um, boundaries. You know what I mean? It's certain shit you're not supposed to do with your kids, and certain shit you're not. Your kids are always supposed to have a certain respect for you, where it's just certain shit that even if they're gonna do it, they're not gonna do it in front of you, right? Like when it comes to even certain language they're gonna use, they're not gonna use it in front of you. I mean, that they're that everybody's gonna curse or everybody's gonna do what they do. You know what I mean? But it's a certain respect level your child has that even though they may partake in certain things or act a certain way, they're not gonna do it or act that way in front of you, right? Because you're their parent. It's like the way that some of us were raised. I'm about to say we was raised, but a lot of us wasn't raised the same way. So it's just certain shit and certain things you don't do around adults or around your elders. Me as a full grown adult, it is certain things you don't do around your elders, right? Around your mama, around my mama, around your dad or whatever. It is certain shit you don't do. You know what I mean? Out of respect, because you wasn't raised that way. You wasn't raised to be disrespectful to adults or to your elders, right? So, but these days, you know what I mean? Kids are different, parents are different. So a lot of parents don't have that respect when it comes to their children, or even they don't even have that respect when it comes to the other parent. So it's crazy. Um, so yeah. So I don't know. So I would think like what's more important. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just I guess it's just the values and the morals and the the pride and the way that your children act and behave, because outside of your presence, your children represent you, right? Your children are a representation of you. So the way your kids act out in public when nobody is around or when you're not around says a lot about you as a parent. That's what I think, right? A lot of people don't think that, but you can tell the way that somebody was raised or the type of environment they grew up in or the type of parents they had by the way that they act in the world, right? That's my belief. Or the way that you can tell that the way that you are, I believe you can tell that the way that someone is as a parent by the way that their kids behave, or by the way that how can I say this? Your kids' appearance say a lot about you too, right? You dress down to the T, you clean, everything about you is, you presentable, but then your kids dirty, right? You eating good, you know what I mean? You eating a good full meal, and your kids eating potato chips, right? I think that says a lot about you, right? Um, the way your house, the upkeep of your house says a lot about you, right? The way a lot of shit says a lot about people. It's like when you come to somebody's house, they always somebody the living room, the bathroom, and the kitchen, right? The way somebody's bathroom look, the way their house smell, the way their living room look, the way their kitchen is, right? It says a lot about you as a person because this is your personal space. This is the not only is this your personal space when it comes to your house, it's the common areas of your house, basically. The shit that people see when they come in, right? Like when somebody you get in somebody's dirty ass car and shit. You know what I mean? The way people keep up with things, right? You would think that if you carried yourself a certain way, you know what I mean, that you would want your kids' upkeep to be the same, right? But you realize that some people put a lot into themselves and nothing into their children, right? And it shows. I guess that's all I'm saying, right? Even their kids, the way that they behave out in public or in school, right? So you can tell somebody's upbringing or how they being raised, or you can tell by someone's kids what's important to them. Because you would think your children, because they're your children, would be what matters most to you in this world, right? So you would go out of your way to make sure they're healthy, um, and that they're getting filled with everything they need to be. You know what I mean? Everything they need to survive in life. That you would be teaching them the way or showing them the way to be successful adults or to navigate this world, right? That you would put more time into that. But since a lot of people are out here trying to recapture their youth and, and they're not putting like, I guess they're not pouring anything into their children. Um, yeah, you know what I mean? And the stuff, it's a lot of stuff that people think important. That's not important, right? Um, my thing is, I guess because there's no shame, people there's no shame, so people be doing all kind of wild shit. You know what I mean? Um, so you know what I mean? Hey, but I don't know because I'm just trying to see, especially when it comes to parenting, right? What kind of parent you want to be? What kind of example you want to set for your children, right? I always tell my kids that your appearance is important because before people know you, who you are as a person, what your morals is, what your values are, or how intelligent you are, they see you, right? The first thing they see is how you dress, how you look. You know what I mean? That's the first thing people see. And people say that they don't judge on appearance, but that's a fucking lie. People judge you on your appearance because that's what they see first, right? That's why when you're in a professional environment, people dress a certain way. People show up a certain way. People always try to have themselves groomed nicely. You know what I mean? Haircut or hair done or, a clean suit or a clean shirt and shoes and shit. If that shit wasn't important, motherfuckers would be showing up in sandals and shorts and tank tops and shit. But your appearance is important, depending on where you are, what the atmosphere is. You feel me? Even on casual Fridays, motherfuckers still put effort into their appearance. All right? Because appearance is important. They wouldn't have a dress code places if appearance wasn't important. So it's when you get past appearance, then it's hygiene. You feel me? How you smell. You know what I mean? How you smell, how your smile look. So you got to keep up with your mouth, um, your breath, um, the daily maintenance when it comes to showering. You feel me? Because some people don't shower. I don't been placing people you can smell people. They smell like ass. They walk by air stain. You feel me? Stuff that people don't think is important. Walk by air. You feel me? You left an odor. You walk by and was like, oh my God. You feel me? You smell like ass. You feel me? You smell like booty. You know what I mean? Or you musty. Shit like that. That people don't think important. You just shit you tell. What shit I tell my kids? You feel me? Your appearance is important. Your hygiene is important. You feel me? It's better to be you got to be a well put together human being. Education is important. I always tell my kids education is important because it's very important. Knowledge is important. You have to not only have the knowledge, but you have to be able to apply it to your real life. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense to you, but you know what I mean? I know I'm not wording this shit perfectly, but you know what I mean? What's knowledge if you don't know how to apply that knowledge? You know what I'm saying? To your everyday life or to whatever your situation is. But yeah, but like I always, I tell my kids all the time, it's the time and place for everything. You know what I mean? Um, it's a time and place for certain shit. Um, Sometimes you don't always have to say everything that you're thinking. Some things aren't meant to be said. You know what I mean? People like, oh, I'm just keeping it real. Sometimes keeping it real can go wrong. Sometimes it's best not to say nothing. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, man. But I always tell your appearance is important. Your hygiene is important. You know what I mean? Um, Knowing what you talking about when you talking is important because there's a lot of people that be talking about shit they know nothing about, speaking on topics and subjects they know nothing about. Knowing when to speak is important. Knowing what to say is important. Being able to read a room is important. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, because you don't want to be, because definitely with these days, like I was saying, it's a lot of, since people aren't outside uh, or whatever, since everything is done over the internet, through text, um, people don't know how to socialize properly. People so out in the real world, people are socially awkward. They don't know what to say because they can't read a room. They're not used to interacting with people in person. Right? People don't call people anymore. People don't meet people out anymore. Everything is done online. Right? So when people are face to face with people, their energy be off because they don't know what to say. They don't know how to react. You know what I mean? No, I don't know. I guess it's easy. It's easier now to do everything through avatars and over the internet or whatever. You know what I mean? So people don't have no personality. They're not, no, they're not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. It's a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now. But you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But that's what it is in the new world. So I don't know. I just try to prepare my kids for um, pretty much everything. especially now because we live in a crazy world now, and so you have to know how to adapt and move. Um, you know, basically how to survive it and yeah, how to survive it. You got to be able to sort of maneuver in a lot of different spaces. And the best way to do that is to be socially aware. So you have to be able to read a room. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So I try to get my kids to, you know, the do shit I wasn't doing at the age. Uh, but I feel like I've gotten better at as an adult. Um, you know, um, yeah. Because I still believe that the children are the future, even though we're investing way more into robots and AI, and it seems like we're gonna go down a Terminator like path. You know what I mean? Everybody's so fucking lazy now. I mean, think about this. When we was growing up, um, you had a lot to remember, which is crazy because I can just remember how many phone numbers I used to remember just off the top of my head. And these days, I barely can remember my own fucking number. You feel me? Um, and since shit autocorrect and spells automatically and shit, sometimes I be forgetting how to spell shit. Hey, this shit crazy. You feel me? Because when I be putting the word in, the rest of it automatically spells. So shit, I just got to swipe it. So when writing shit down on paper, sometimes I be like, damn, am I spelling it right? Ah, shit crazy. But I've been realizing like, bro, you feel me? We becoming too dependent or relying on technology to the point where we're dumbing ourselves down on some real shit. So sometimes I feel like, damn, I'm getting dumb and shit. You feel me? Because I'm like, shit that I used to know, I feel like it's getting away from me because of technology. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just putting too much thought in it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So shit, because people can't, which is crazy. A lot of people can't write in cursive or read it. I can still do that. You know what I mean? I can still do that. You know what I mean? I heard they removed that from the curriculum, so a lot of people can't read it or write it. A lot of the younger generation can't read it or write it. So yeah, man. So I feel like it's a lot of stuff that's used to come natural, that's slowly being taken out of society. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be able to survive because the most shit that the shit that I see that's really getting away from us in this world that we're living in, it's common fucking sense. A lot of people don't have common sense. When you out in the world, you realize a lot of people don't have common sense. A lot of people don't have common decency. A lot of people don't have manners. A lot of people don't know when to just shut the fuck up. A lot of people don't know when to just stay in a place. Like, bro, this ain't social media where you can just say whatever the fuck you want to in a situation or in some shit that don't got nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? People just because of social media, I feel like because you it's so random. People put their whole life online, and A lot of people are able to just comment in on it and say whatever they want to say with no consequence. People feel like they can do that in everyday life. Hey, it's a lot of shit you can do on the internet that you can't do in everyday life. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. So, yeah. So you have to teach your kids that. And yeah, the internet is not a real place, but it comes with real consequences. And that's what people got to understand. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Nah. I know I kind of went all over the place with my topics, but if the children are the future, invest more into your children. And if you're trying to recapture your youth, don't forget to prioritize your children in the process of trying to recapture something that you feel that you lost. So, yeah, if the children are the future, we should act like it and do pour more into them, in my opinion.